Hi everyone, this is Norman Koshnick here. I'm again on the show for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshnick. Let's get this all settled. So how are we all? It's certainly a day where some mixed fortunes, but certainly it's been in India's favour. The fact that England are now none for 59 with only a short amount of time to play, you would argue that it's back on a somewhat more even keel with some 300 odd runs to get into tomorrow's play. It sets up to be an incredible finish, to be honest with you, because the pitch is quite placid. It's quite not quite a road, but it certainly is a wicket that hasn't broken up at all as much as it should. As the sun bakes on it tomorrow, it should start to crack up more and more. Jadeja has been on to bowl, and he's bowled quite loosely. He hasn't bowled that well, but these two batsmen scratched out a 59 on opening partnership. But there's a long way to go, and I think you would argue that India is still in front, but England are certainly putting up their position quite nicely. Unlikely to get the total, but they may well survive tomorrow's play and be able to have at least a draw. But they're showing Ravi Chandra and Ashwin there in the stand looking decidedly frustrated. He certainly would have been appreciated out there to bowl now, and I think they're honestly ruining the decision not having Ashwin on the side. But India have done very well. Let's not forget that Shardul Thakur and, of course, Rishabh Pant both batted quite magnificently with their century stand in their performance, and even the likes of Bumrah and Umesh compiled some runs towards the end and put together a lead of 367 with a 368. The target of 368. Quite impressive indeed. You'd have to argue it's pretty damn good effort from India. Admittedly, England have got 60 runs now on the board and some 26.4 overs, but I don't think they're any means in front. If Jadeja does not get any wickets, Kohli should be blamed for his team selection. Garrett Bangkok, it's a bit early to be starting to blame anyone. India batting, scoring 400 plus proves still very flat pitch. There's no doubt. If it breaks up, not wasted as said, it'll bowls in the game. Of course, long way to go, guys. Admittedly, England put a good account for themselves today in this evening's session. They could easily lost a few wickets. They haven't done so yet, but it's not quite over yet. India lost lots of precious time to apply pressure with the ball. I don't know. I think that they've done a good job. India have done a very good job. Manager John saying 367 was unnecessary. It must have been early on when you said that. I don't think that's an issue at all. I think they handled it very well. The timing of their innings, the way they played was quite frankly to perfection. They've allowed themselves enough time to get England out. It's just that at this stage it hasn't happened. But there's a long way to go in this match. A long way to go. BCCI team not playing for rain. Go back. You're very critical. I think England aren't going to win. That's for sure. So again, India were all out for 191, as we know. England were 290, all out. They're leading by 99 of that. So India they're getting 466. And of course, Rohit Sharma's 127. Chris Wokes took 3 weeks, and 466 then gave them a lead of 367 in front, and now they have to get 307 to win, which is extremely unlikely. Extremely unlikely, even if the wicket is flat. Extremely unlikely that they'll get that total tomorrow. That's for sure. The only hope England have will be to draw the match, and I think that'll be based on everything going their way. But India, with a slice of bit of luck early on, with a wicket here or there, will start to put more scoreboard pressure on England, and it'll be very difficult for England. I still think the victory for India is number one, followed by a draw and then England victory, the third of those choices. So let's keep that in perspective. It Burns to 28 and Hamid 30. Now, these guys are batting okay at the moment, but still enough time in this match for wickets to start to fall. Once a couple of wickets fall, the pressure is applied. So at the moment, this is what the stats are. England, a 22% chance of winning. India, I think it was 30 odd, and then draws 35. So I think it was 22, 33, 35. Well, I'll just wait until I come back up again. That was an interesting stat. I just showed there a minute ago. I'll wait and see what that is about. But England is still the least likely of the three scenarios to win at this point. Yeah, so let's not give too much harshness to anything that India have done. India have done the best they can in this match so far to do well. And look, Jadeja's probably the one that holds the key, as would Ashwini was there, and I'll admit that is certainly a decision they're going to rue. But Jadeja needs to just get the ball accurate, and he's just a little bit wayward at the moment, a little bit wayward. He's not bowling as accurately as he should. Sit tight, guys. We're into a fifth day in the Test match here at the Oval. Series is 1-1, amazingly close. And there's clear skies ahead above. So almost looks like Australia, if you ask me. I don't know whether there's an issue there at all. I think that was the right position to be in. If India had left less of a total, it would have given England a really good chance. Admittedly, they may have lost some more wickets, but no, I think this is a fair position of the day's play. England have accounted themselves pretty well after 61, the number 61 of 28 overs. But there's a long way to go in this match before you can. Tomorrow's first session will probably be the key. If India can get 2 or 3 wickets in the session, then the game on big time. They're applying pressure. They're putting in 2 relatively short legs there. There's a fair bit of pressure being placed on this batting effort. Yeah, it's just gone past 6:30 at the moment. And I would argue Overton is the night watchman. They've already decided that. Millar's not going in. Overton took some good catches at first slip today, actually. He didn't bowl very well, though. He was very, very ordinary bowling, was evidenced by Overton. He definitely will be dropped next game. And Mark Wood will come in. James Anderson certainly looked pretty tired today and bowled a heck of a lot. So it's a road, yeah, but I don't know. It's England are 59. I don't know. We know the score. Let's look here. Actually, is saying it's a boring game. It's not a boring game. It's riveting. It's incredibly interesting. Who will you pick between Shuttle and Hardik for upcoming T20 World Cup? Hardik Pandya is in the mix. He has to bowl and bat, not just bat. Shardul Thakur, the way he's batted, he got 60 today. He looked fantastic. That was extremely lucky. Hamid has almost got LBW in the balls, dribbled through the slips for 4. Now it's 7%. No, it's not 75% chance to draw. That's too high. Oh, can't believe that he didn't get it. He was so close to getting LBW. That's quite crazy. This team management is a bit confident. I think they're being a bit really harsh on the situation. I think England would do a gather here. I don't think England are going to win this. Very, very unlikely England will win this match. I wouldn't be saying that at all. I think that it's India win, England. India win, draw, England win. Still at this point. I think we're going to about 6:48 England time, which is another 15 minutes. I'm not sure that they're going to go that long, but the attempted runouts from both sides today have been fairly awful. England missed some incredible opportunities. They didn't get this. Indian feeling has also been a little bit circumspect with their throws. My Agarwal's been on the field. I've seen Sky, as in Surya Kumar Yadav, who's been on the field as well. I think both. I think the likes of Pujara, his ankle is playing up, and Rohit Sharma's been off as well. I think he's not 100% either, which is a loss because Rohit Sharma's presence on the field, I think, is very much needed, especially from his catching capability in the slips, but nothing's gone to hand yet, so it's all right. Most of Test cricket is in the mind. Score pressure is still crucial here. You're right, Tim. That's where the crucial nature of this. There's no way that England are feeling comfortable at the moment. They've got the most pressure on them, really, by far. Watch Rory Burns bat with Hamid. There's a certain element of scratchiness about the way they bat. They're not batting freely. It's like it's to be at this level of cricket and to bat the way they are is a little bit of a shock to my system. They're not elegant batsmen. They're not stylish batsmen. They're scratching here. They both they look like makeshift openers to me. Looks like two night watchmen batting as openers for England. That's the impression I'm getting. It looks like two night watchmen batting for England. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on this. What is it? Aussie time now. It is 3:35 a.m. in the morning. So what result do you expect from here? I'm still expecting, you can't expect anything to start with, but India is still, percentage-wise, the most likely scenario to win, followed by a draw, followed by England winning. Fuller's on the wrong side for today. All he can do is control at one end. Well, is that really the case? I thought the marks are on the side that he's bowling, because a right arm bowler comes over the wicket, not around the wicket, will scuff the marks up in spots where left-hand bowlers bowling. So no, that's not true, Jim. The result's not going to be a draw. It's way too early to say that. Need wickets now. Well, we do. If we had a wicket or two now, it would be incredibly in favour of India, if that's the case. The fact that there's no wickets down puts it more even-keeled, but it's a long way from really knowing where the position is at. By the end of the first session tomorrow, we'll have a very good judgment. If England are only one or two, let's say 1 to 2 wickets down, well then it's heading for a draw. But if there's 3 or 4 wickets down, well, it's going back on for sure. How are you, Brian? Can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning, Norman. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Look, people are already starting to say that India made a mistake and they batted too long. There's no way that India batted too long at all.
Yeah, that's impossible. That's impossible that they batted too long. In fact, considering still no wicket has fallen, so one way I would say that maybe they could have batted more, let's say 5-10 overs. Who knows? Given the pitch,
India batted out the innings. I think India did a fantastic job. I think the way they handled their batting was fantastic, especially everyone from Punt getting 50, Shuttle getting 60. That's brilliant. And the Tailors getting 20s each. Really, India handled it brilliantly. It's just they haven't taken a wicket, that's all. And look, there's still time for a wicket to fall tonight and, more importantly, early tomorrow. But I think India have done a pretty good job. India are not going to lose this match. England have to bat out of their skin and break all sorts of records of history to win this.
Well, they will have to, let's say, if England, targets the win, targets, if they want to win, then they will also have to increase the run rate. So that's where then wicket starts falling. So it's a two-sided sword. So let's see. Maybe by tea tomorrow, that could be the situation. Coming back to India's inning, I looked at more like, okay, the destination, they reached their destination, but not the way they would have intended. Like maybe they wanted Kohli and Rahane to maybe have a big innings in that. Thakur played excellent, means like his 60, in fact, it was much better than he played like a proper batsman. Like none
He
of
has some
his.
beautiful shots. Absolutely beautiful shots. I really liked Shardul Thakur. I really fancy him. His bowling needs to improve a little bit, but otherwise his performance has been fantastic.
Pant things was a little. I won't say I was so satisfied with that. It was lot of a jiffy kind of a
runs. He got 50
he
runs.
reached 50. But it was not that fluent kind of a punt that you expect. That's the point.
Yeah, but he had a role to play. He because they lost early wickets this morning. They lost Kohli, Jadeja, and Rahane fairly early. They needed a bit of they needed what happened with Punt and Shardul. They both did a pretty good job, and realistically, and then Bumrah and who was Umesh did very, very well. And the score is that they've reached the score they needed to reach. 367 was a lot.
The only big disappointment for me was Rahane. Means like I don't know if you saw, he was there for like 8 or 10 balls.
I saw it was LBW several times the one over.
He was it was like it was like a pain to watch him. Like I was feeling pity for him. Like he felt, looking at him, it felt like he will be getting out the next ball. It was like we are just waiting. It was
he's not in form. He's not in form.
Yeah, it was terrible. It looked like a patient in the ICU and on life support, and the doctor is saying that just.
But Kohli batted extremely well. He looked fantastic. He
looked excellent, but if you see, just before he got out, or he hit a 4, and before that, I would give credit to England because they choked him up very badly. It means they choked him very hard for
but his batting scores this innings, this test has been what, 45 or 50 and 40 odd. That's nothing wrong with that. It's a commendable effort. Like India got 466. There's nothing wrong with that total as a team. It's absolutely excellent. After getting 191, to get 466 was quite impressive. I know the pitch is a lot more batter friendly, yes, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, no, because there was I will just conclude one on Kohli. One thing I don't know if you saw that, like just before Kohli got out in the over a Moeen Ali, Pant had hit he hit a ball to, I think, long on, and it went for an overthrow for 4. So total there was 6 runs of that ball, and I didn't like the Kohli was like happy and like he was rubbing it on the English players, and then 2 balls after that he got out. So I don't know, was that something that led to a lapse of his concentration, or because it was part to that. Somewhat, I felt it was too egoish and something that could have been avoided.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock Kohli's performance. I think he's done fantastically well. I think we're all being we're criticising the team that got 466 in their second innings, regardless of the pitch being a batter-friendly pitch. It doesn't matter. The reality is this is India in a pretty good situation. Let's not forget they were 99 runs behind on the first innings, and they end up being 360 odd in front. Is a pretty good recovery.
No, today also after Kohli got out, there was a feeling that there might be a collapse here and the lead might be 240 or 250, and if that would have happened, I don't think then it would surely been an England win.
But it didn't happen. Yeah. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Shardul Thakur is well and truly warranted his selection. Absolutely should be in the side. He's a fantastic player. Very impressed. Siraj is not bowling well. He's just bowled the ball in the leg side. Look, I have a lot of time for Shardul Thakur. The shots he plays are beautiful to watch, aren't they? Really are.
His drive on the ups are like very good. The one straight down the ground and also to the off, to the cover. He drives very good on the up. He has a beautiful skill over there. Also, the part where once Pant as well as Shardul were out and Umesh Yadav and Bumrah were batting. At that moment, the English strategy was very weird, or I got a feeling as if
there's an LBW. I think Siraj is out. I reckon they should go upstairs though. Look, the reality is that England were very, very tired. Some of their bowlers bowled 30 plus overs. 30 plus overs.
Yeah, they were.
Anderson looked absolutely tanked, even though he bowled pretty well. His statistics yet again in the second innings of a match, they call upstairs.
Robinson also looked like out of breath.
Understandably, they bowled 30 odd overs each. I think that Hamid's out.
No, it's umpire's call.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why? It's borderline hitting the stumps. Is that what the call is? Missing, in fact. A touch too high. It was worth reviewing.
Yeah, reviews will be very critical for India. Yeah, but this one was worth reviewing. Okay, it got wasted, but
no, I think that was worth reviewing. It was a good delivery. It was actually a very good delivery. It looks very hard, though. I must say, it wasn't an umpire's call. It would have been reversed. There's a long way to go in this match still, Param. There's no certainty that, in England, they're really digging deep to survive. They're going to score around 300 tomorrow. That's a huge effort. No day of this test match has a team scored 300. Not any stage of this test match have they scored 300.
Especially the first session in the morning that I see, it's like barely 50, 60 runs are scored. So I expect something very similar tomorrow morning, not more than 60 or 70 runs. And especially if a wicket falls immediately, things go back down. So, but let's say if England they able to do this, they deserve the win. Like, so let's.
The key yet again will be Root's wicket. If they can get Root's wicket quickly, that'll change the complexity of the match very, very quickly.
Or they can go the India way, like first 2 sessions bat out, keep the wickets, and then maybe last session give it a whack and see how it goes.
There's a couple of things here. Not wasted said already. We're into it. Rahane out for Hari next test. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Oh gosh, that was. The run-outs in this match have been atrocious. All the fielders have been atrocious when it comes to run-outs. They've all missed opportunities, left, right, and centre. Now is it some? Is this series over? Let's talk about IPL. Rahul Saraj, we're not going to talk about IPL just yet. Well, Davies wants to drop. Everybody wants to drop people. I've never seen something good. It was good feeling. That was what a Saraj. Oh no, he actually would have been in the crease. Look, Tim wants to drop Moeen Ali. I don't think they're dropping Moeen Ali either. These teams will not drop players like that.
He got Virat Kohli's wicket.
He did. Ravi Shankar posed COVID positive. Now that's interesting.
Is it confirmed? Because in the morning it was like it was some different test. Then they were going to take the RT-PCR test. Did not see any news after that saying that the RT-PCR test also came confirmed.
But he's isolating, that's for sure. He's not with the team. Jadeja is getting a fair bit of purchase there, I tell you. Buckle hasn't got a bad point here. Some of these, aren't there any off spinners in the side Like, I know that Robert Sharma can bowl.
Sharma He
That
has
looks like
bowled. He has bowled many times also, Rohit Sharma, but I doubt whether they will.
so they've ended the day's play at none for 77 after 32 overs. So effectively, there's 296. So look at today's play: 88.2 overs, 273 runs for 7 wickets. That's going to be very hard to replicate tomorrow. They're going to England will need more than that tomorrow.
Yeah, considering the fact that the way India was scoring very fast in the I think the middle of the innings in the second session.
Yeah, that's fairly unlikely that England will go close enough to win this. All they can really do at this point is go for a draw. Admittedly, they've scored 75 runs in the session, which is probably more than 77 runs, which is more than I would have expected them to. I'm pretty sure tomorrow morning will be a grind for them, and they'll lose wickets.
Yeah, 77 runs of 32 overs. 32 overs were bowled. So
yeah,
this was a long session. Means India bowled 32 overs and England, I think, 5 overs.
I know. But 77 runs off 32 overs is only barely 2 and over.
Yeah, 2.2 runs.
2 and a quarter and over. That's not good enough tomorrow. They're going to need a lot more than that, I'll tell you.
Tomorrow they will be bowling 90 overs. That's minimum considering no light issue.
So they're going to get
that I would believe will be the maximum. I think 90 would be maximum. That's what. Let's say if that's the case, I don't think they will bowl more than 90. Or India will bowl more than 90.
No. But on the basis of what we're seeing today, they won't get anywhere near the total. India will be looking to attack early. Jadeja's bowled 13 overs. Do they not? Yadav, Bumrah, Jadeja, Siraj. Who's missing? Who's the bowler that's missing there?
Shardul.
Yeah. You think they would have given him at least he'll bowl tomorrow for sure. Siraj was expensive, relatively expensive, 4 and over. Yeah, Siraj is not himself today. So England need 291 more runs to win. Now, they won't get that many runs scored in a day. I can't imagine them doing that. It'll be
bat normally and just go for a draw. Maybe I think.
Yeah, I can't see.
But let's say you are the England captain. Won't you go for a win? Like strategy to.
If first and foremost, you've got to survive the first session tomorrow without losing too many wickets. Then you can start to plan for anything beyond that. You don't plan from the start to try to win because you could lose quite a few wickets. So at this stage, England will be ecstatic that they haven't lost a wicket tonight. If they lost 2 or 3 wickets tonight, they would have been in a lot of trouble. They've admirably not lost a wicket. But don't forget, India were done for. They lost the first wicket at 83. Then they had a 153 run partnership for the next. It's going to take something like that from England to have any chance, which means they'll have to literally not lose more than a wicket to 2 wickets in the first session tomorrow to have a chance. If they lose any more than that, it's going to be a hard grind for the last 2 sessions. If India had Ashwin in the side, they may have had a good chance of getting it out, and they haven't. There's going to be a bit of an open wound created now through the lack of having Ashwin on the side, and there'll be a lot of discussion about that. They may feel pressure to have Ashwin in for the 5th test, but that'll be the wrong way of doing it. They should have not. If he was to be selected, he should have been selected for this match. But that's the biggest concern for me.
In this match, let's say if Ashwin was selected, he would have been in place of Shardul Thakur. Don't you think that Thakur had a huge involvement?
They may have taken money out of the bowlers. I don't know whether Shardul Thakur would have necessarily been the one to be not included. It's an interesting thought about who they would have chosen to not play. Have they actually picked have they actually picked
So
Shardul
the other
Thakur?
logical was in place of Jadeja.
But the way that
It would have been one of the two, Norman. Either it would have been in place of Jadeja or in place of Shardul. I don't
I think
see
it would have been Jadeja. Let's be honest. It really, the way that Kohli described the pre-match discussion about Ashwin's non-selection was he centred on the fact that Jadeja's there for bowling and he's batting. So it was really Ashwin or Jadeja. And that's the way they've gone on the basis of that. Thakur was always going to be in the side. Vijay saying it's England's game from here on. No, it's not. Way too early.
Stumps.
See, Burns and Hamid, albeit they've survived quite okay, they're not the sort of batsmen that are going to flourish tomorrow and score big hundreds quickly. I don't think so.
Yeah, the person who can throw quickly with, you can say, David Malan, then Joe Root.
The key really is
also that the batsman coming in next, like
well, really it's Root, and in terms
Malan
of winning this match, Root, Bairstow, and probably Chris Wokes are the key.
And Malan also. I'll put the four up because these four are fast.
No, that's true. Malan's certainly in there as well. You're right. They're interviewing Moeen Ali after the match.
But I think there will be a lot of action tomorrow. Means it will be a close call. I don't know. Get this feeling.
Well, there's enough.
Won't be a dull draw. That's what I'm trying to say. It won't be a dull draw.
See, the fact is, there's enough of a sniff here for England to try and win this, which makes the game open. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If it had been a ridiculous amount of runs that England had no hope, they would have played for draw without a doubt. But England are close enough to see it worthwhile going for it, which means wickets come into play then, and they could lose wickets in that process. So that makes it interesting. I don't think if India declared earlier would that have been any benefit to them at all. I don't think there would have been a benefit at all. In fact, they could have well lost the match.
Yeah,
if they declared earlier.
What if you have played like 10 overs more, or maybe had a much higher score, say 400 plus? What do you feel? Would that have been better in putting England right from the beginning into a defensive mindset, saying that anyway we are not going to score, so we just defend, and that would have led to a different scenario.
India are all out for 466, so it's not a matter of batting longer. They couldn't bat any longer. They're all out. The way that India batted was quite reasonable. Shardul Thakur and Pant spent a lot of time at the crease.
No, my point is, let's say they would have been all out at 520 instead of 466 at the same point of time. Maybe just hypothetical case that then that would have definitely put England in a situation that we can't, like something like the last match, where you have to get 4 runs and over, 4.5 runs and over, which does not seem possible, and really then that gives it like you have to go into a shell, and that really changes the whole tone of the game. I've seen many a times.
But hang on. Have we think about what you just said? 520. They scored 191 in the first innings. It would have been a miracle to get 520 in the second innings. Let's be honest. Okay, they batted extremely well. If you look at the batting card, only Rahane failed. All the other batsmen got reasonable scores. So
it's not that big. They already reached almost 470.
No, but 466 is but I'm saying to you, they got as many runs as they would have gotten. 466 was a brilliant total. Honestly, I tell you what, Hamid's a pretty ordinary fieldsman. They're replaying his attempted run out. That was awful. Did you see that when?
I know he's almost all of his fingers are taped. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but he's not a very elegant fielder. He's very sloppy. Like, oh my God, he's dropped the ball. He's picked it up. He's fumbling around. That's amateurish stuff for a first-class cricketer to be feeling that way. Putt was miles out. I'll tell you what, in terms of the batting order, based on form, I'd have Shardul Thakur above Punt. Really?
Already Jadeja is going above Rane. Next people will say get Shardul above Rane also with the same thing.
Do you
I
think
think in
Rahane will be dropped?
this match, maybe if there was a time machine, we would have told Kohli like instead of Rane, take Ashwin. Because Rane's contribution has been zero.
Yeah, but look, you never have a team with everybody firing. It's never possible. Every team has someone not firing. That's quite normal. And it's still 1-1. And if it let's just say it goes to a draw, right? Doesn't that make Manchester even more exciting? Because it will be a one test match.
Yeah,
winner takes all. I didn't expect 2 draws, put it that way.
Yeah, the first draw was due to the weather.
Weather.
Yeah, you can't blame that. But I don't think this will be a dull draw. Somehow I get a feeling that this won't be a dull draw.
No. Rohit Sharma was in bat for just short of 6 hours. So look at the batting lineup, batting order, and the batting scores. Rohit Sharma got 127, fantastic. Rahul 46, very good. Pujara 61, very good. Kohli 44, very good. Today's 17 was not great. Rahane's the only one that really failed with the duck. Then there was 50, 60, 25, and 24, which is magnificent low order batting for India, isn't it? Really, they need to stop knocking the Indian tail as such, because Yadav got 25 and played. He got 2 sixes. He looked pretty good, and Bumrah looked pretty free as well.
So this time I've seen the tail surprising has done very well, and surprising done very well in the second innings of the test matches.
Who?
The tail, Indian tail.
Oh, look, they've had 2 or 3 performances. Their tail's done okay. So,
and they've all been second innings. I think, and same with Pujara. Pujara's all scores have come in the second innings. He has not been doing it good in the first innings.
Yeah, but I don't think that's necessarily a horrible thing either, really. Okay, I know normally you judge batsmen by their first inning performances. I do understand that. But still, Pujara still did a very significant thing in this test match. He's not going to be dropped. Rahane is the only one there's any doubt about at this point in time. Look at the bowlers, though. Anderson bowled 33 overs. Robinson, 32. Chris Wokes, 32. Overton, surprisingly, only 18.2. Moeen Ali, 26. There's your problem. Moeen Ali should have bowled more than 26 overs. He was the spinner. And Root bowled 7. So
he was going for a lot of runs also. Like if you see Moeen Ali, like was going at 5 runs and over, if I'm not wrong.
4.5 he went for. Yeah, but at this point, Umesh Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah didn't have any luck this morning, to start this evening. Jadeja didn't bowl badly, but didn't bowl that well either. Siraj was very loose, and we yet to see Shardul Thakur.
And Rohit Sharma.
Well, there's the thing with Pujara, his ankle injury the way he fell over was quite severe, and he came back and he may have had a needle or something, but he's resting. So the time between this and the next test, I mean, the next test is, well, 3 or 4 days away. It's not very far away. All right. So the level of interest now on the game from India supporters has probably dropped off a little bit, let's be honest. They wouldn't be as...
Today, I think it was expected, very optimistic. People were saying 3 or 4 wickets will fall today of England. So not even one falling, that's where the change happened. It's similar to like what happened in the second day of India, England were expecting a wicket when Rohit and KL Rahul were batting, but no wicket fell, and it also demoralizes a little. Like as a captain and as a team, you feel like 32, and this was not small, not like a 8 or 10 overs. Also, like it was 32 overs.
Okay. Let's just make one thing clear. Today was not a bad day for India. India did very, very well today. Okay, they did exceptionally well. Their 4.66 was incredibly good. Okay, whether it's a flat pitch or not, India have done very, very well. Okay, unfortunately, they haven't taken a wicket, and England are done for 77. That's brought it back somewhat, but India have still won the day. I think they've won today.
Correct.
They're ahead still, and England have got a tall order to score 291 runs on the last day. How many? I mean, I'm just trying to remember how many runs did India score on the last day of the Gabba test? Was over 300, wasn't it? I think it was. Pretty sure it was close to.
It was. I think it was 340 to win, and they had already scored 40 something the night before.
Yeah, so, and they still needed 254 in the last two sessions, and they got it.
Yeah, I remember last session 145 runs was scored. Around 145 runs was scored. But
yeah, so
whole day I think it was around 290, 300.
That was exceptional, though. That was exceptional day. Gill batted well, Pujara batted well, and ultimately Punch really took it away. For England to do something similar, either to the Gabba test or to previously I think it was Edgbaston, or wasn't it where Ben Stokes got the runs, or Headingley? I can't remember. I think it was Headingley. That's unlikely. England aren't that good a batting side to do that tomorrow. They're not. I mean, Root's pretty good, but I don't think the England batting side is that good to take this game away from India. If Ben Stokes was around, I'd be worried a little bit. But
no, India needs to make the best of the first session tomorrow. Like if they need to maybe get 3 or 4 wickets, because that's the session where the wickets are falling. And that falls, then that will cause a domino effect in the next session, whether there will be already wickets down as well as the scoreboard pressure that would put in. Because in this whole test match, if you see, like the first session has been where the wickets have been falling much more compared to and in fact the last session where we are seeing that there barely any wickets are falling.
But look, this wasn't a bad day for India at all. They did well today. They really did well. They did pretty well. They can't be concerned about the way they played today. It went
they were in a big dominant position, and still I would say, let's say when India's batting got over, India was, I would say, a 9 out of 10 in terms of domination. Now they are maybe a 7 out of 10.
But don't forget, England were 99 runs in front after both teams played their first innings. England were in charge of the match. Okay, India took that away from England and now made them play into the 5th day and face a possible defeat. It's a significant turnaround. Now, if it's a draw is still a victory for India. Why? Because they, at the halfway mark of this match, they were going to lose the match. So if a draw is what ends up being the case, you might argue that they've missed out a chance to win, but actually they've done very well. And I think that we must not forget that after 4 tests, if this is a draw, England and India will be 1-1. Now, if you were to start the series and talk to India about where they'd like to be after 4 tests, if you offered them 1-1, they would have taken it. They'd be very happy with that. Okay? So I'm not going to disparage the the team performance by India in this series. I think they've done exceptionally well. Okay, Rahane hasn't got many runs. Pujara scratched a little. Kohli has still got quite a few runs, but not centuries. But gee, I tell you what, both of the opening batsmen for India, both, of course, Rahul and Sharma, have now both scored centuries as openers, whereas at this stage, England has had no one score a century. The only opportunity they've got now is with Hamid and Burns, with Hamid on 43 and Burns on 31. They've got an opportunity here that one of these two could get a century. But I bet you they don't. I've got a feeling they won't. That's my
See,
thoughts.
for India, if you look at the series till now, a big disappointments. We'll take disappointments as well as positives. So big disappointment. Number one, I would say is Rane. Number two, I would say Pant. Uh, in the two disappointment. Number three, I would equally put at maybe Pujara and Kohli. Number three over there.
You can't genuinely say Pujara, Kohli have been disappointed. You can't say that.
Okay, so Rane and Pant, I'll just stick to those two.
Rahane is definitely a disappointment. Pant, because we've got such high expectations of him, we're disappointed. But he got 50 today in a very important stage of the match and held the team together. Okay, so really Rahane is the one that you can say was disappointing, honestly. And perhaps Ishant Sharma.
Okay, yeah, Ishan played that the lost stats. I think he had a good role playing in winning the match. He took crucial wickets. But positive vibes, I would say big is KL Rahul and Shardul. These two have been big positives for. It means Shardul, if India looks to develop further, can really make the balance of the Indian team very good.
The two things that I think are disappointing from India's perspective are probably Rahane's batting, but the non-selection of Ashwin may prove to be one that they may regret. Not because of Shardul Thakur, but I think they may have been better served with Ashwin than Jadeja, because Jadeja, even though he's batted up the order, hasn't really scored. He's only scored the 150 early in the series, and he hasn't scored since then. So he hasn't taken that many wickets. So Ashwin probably is the one player that I would have seen as a potential replacement. Why couldn't I'm going to be flippant now? Could you realistically, you could have had Ashwin instead of Rahane in this test, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's why I said if there was a time machine, I said that taken Ashwin in place of Rahane. That would have been
for the entire test series. That would have been the cleverest thing to do because, we still don't know the significance of Rahane as a vice captain. We don't know how much of a backroom activity is going on with Rahane. He may still have a major effect over the team. Generally, we don't know that, but yeah, Rahane. That's the replacement. In hindsight, I would have Rahane out, Ashwin for the entire series. We may have seen a very different complexion.
Not an entire series, but at least looking at Rane's performance has been so, and take a very, very bold move, at least in this match, considering the pitch situation. Ashwin and I feel they should have taken Ashwin in place of Jadeja. Okay, still Rane is there. Taking Ashwin in place of Rane is completely means if you take, nobody will think of it before, but they should have taken Ashwin in place of Jadeja. I don't understand Kohli's logic behind or the team management's logic over there.
Okay, Ashwin wasn't going to run through the batting on this road. It's true, he would have found it a bit difficult. But I love this one the best. Harsh Gupta's just trying to summarise what we've been talking about. Where can you purchase the time machine from eBay? It's cheeky, but it's funny.
No, I don't think it's eBay. I think it's Amazon.
For a time machine. Because by buying it from eBay, that means someone's tried the time machine and it hasn't worked and they're reselling it.
Yeah.
That's a worry. Harsh, stop talking crock stuff.
I think the first thing, Norman, you get a time machine, you'll do is take the correct numbers on the lotto. That's what every time you talk about.
Oh, that would be the first thing I would do for sure. And not just one lotto, I'd do several lottos.
Yeah.
This test match is that underrated thriller web series I was searching for. It's funny. So many haters on a day we won. Amrish Singh has actually made the best comment. We are getting a bit tough, and you are too, Baram. You're getting a bit tough on your team on a day that
I'm not getting tough. Still the only bad point for me is Ashwin not being selected.
But we'll talk about the positives. What are the positives of today?
Positive today, I would say biggest is Shardul. His batting, in fact, this second inning batting was far better because than the previous, because there were no iffy jiffy shots. There was not a single, except for that run out thing. What happened in between him and Pant? There was not a single time where I felt that Shardul was beaten or Shardul played a bad shot or something like that. In fact, when he got out, I thought it was a replay of Kohli being played. Like the ball, like when I was watching the match, I thought they're showing Kohli's dismissal. Then I saw Shardul got out. So that was also a little, but that was only shot the shot that he got. Before that, there was not. So Shardul has been the biggest positive. And let me tell you, when Shardul and Pant came, that was a very tough point. Also, India could have been collapsed at that point because they were at a lead of only 230 when I think both of them came in.
Okay, Rajeska Balraj, this can't be this is not a dead rubber. The concept of a dead rubber is where you have won a series 2-1 or 3-1 and you've got a game to play. That's when it's a dead rubber, when it has no significance. This can never be called a dead rubber. This is a deciding match. If it's a draw, it only leaves the last match as a deciding match. There's no dead rubber here. It'll only, in fact, a draw in this and the likes. If this is a draw today or tomorrow, it'll only make the last test even more exciting because it'll be a true decider.
But the last test match is what they were saying that it would be a complete washout. Is it still?
Oh, look, it's hard to look. The World Test Championship was also going to be called a washout. Remember, and they got a match out of there, haven't they? So I don't know necessarily if that's the case. Manchester is known to have rain at this time of year. That's a general comment. That's not saying it. And there is a tropical cyclone going through New York, which is meant to go through England as well. So that's the only other possible. Okay. England will win for sure. Rubbish. How do you? That's absolute rubbish.
Very drastic, as some saying 275. Tim Milton Davis is saying hot tomorrow. Wicket could break up.
I don't think England will go for a win. England got a very conservative captain in Joe Root. They're going to first want to survive.
If this becomes a draw and the next match, let's say, is washed out, or even that turns out to be a draw, I think India would be disappointed then. Maybe they could have won the first match, or.
Oh, I think they'll be pretty happy with a 1-1 draw in the series, really, after 5 tests, regardless of the conditions. That's pretty satisfactory. I don't. If there was a trophy, I don't know who retains it. Whether England have the trophy from the last series when they played India, or what, I don't know. But usually when you have a drawn series, the team...
I think the last year was with England only. Anyway, this trophy is not... people don't even know, not many people know the name of the trophy.
Pataudi. Isn't it called Pataudi?
Yeah, I know. I know it's Pataudi trophy, but you have to actually look. It's not something that it's at the tip of your tongue.
I've learned it now, though. I tell you. Okay. Arnold Engel says, "No one mark my words, England will win." Well, it's going to be a massive victory for England if they win this. It's going to take everything has to go their way. Everything. I don't think so. Of RPO and captaincy, no idea.
Runs. Yeah, what Amresh is trying to say is very correct. Like, people are looking at 90 overs. They just need 3 run per over. That's now it will be a different ball game. Just one wicket has to fall tomorrow, and you see the whole situation will change.
Oh, for sure.
And first of all, tomorrow first session, I know even England will. I won't be surprised if in tomorrow's first session the score is just 60-70 out of 25-26 overs bowled.
No, in England are going to have no hope of getting the runs. They've got to survive tomorrow, and they've got to do well to survive, very well to survive. It's still the best percentage is still for an Indian wing for sure.
I think if
Absolutely.
3 wickets in tomorrow's first session, then I would say India has a good chance of winning. But first session needs to have, I think, at least three wickets.
Yeah, and that can happen very quickly.
Other than that, we are looking at a complete. Then, if India has to win, it has to be a complete collapse of England.
Look, it's possible. It's possible. Even though it's a flat track, all it takes is some scoreboard pressure on England, and this whole thing could turn upside down. Couldn't it?
Correct.
Whereas India have to play really, really, really badly to lose this match. They have to bowl very badly all day, and I don't think that's going to happen.
No, they will. If that comes, Kohli will definitely keep one end with Jadeja, and Jadeja can really, if he wants to bowl economically, he can do that. And let me tell you, hitting Jadeja is not an easy thing to do. So I would say, yeah, England's task is cut out. It's not winning is a very low probability.
The best result for England will be a draw. The Krishna Sar and people saying this is a batting pitch, poke bear, so root works. Yeah, but they can also get out. Don't ever think it's not possible to get out. I think it is. I think Manu John's got it. It's impossible for anyone to win. It's going to it'll break all sorts of history, which is where the reality comes in.
Amresh has a good point also there. Like England didn't chase 215 in 75. Was it 215?
I love this. I love
7-5?
this. Harshgupta has talked about a time machine. I love this. Someone needs to pretend to have concussion. So a concussion rule means you bring another player into the side. So Jadeja's got to pretend to have concussion. And
But
bring us.
I don't think that rule is applicable in Test. That's only in One Day and T20, right? I don't think it's applicable in Test.
Yeah, there is a funny sound. I'm hearing that sound too. It's like a knocking sound. Do you hear that?
No, honestly, I'm not getting any sound.
There is definitely a sound somewhere. I think it's my iPad. It's playing up. People are hearing it. I'm hearing it. So I wasn't sure where it was coming from. And my iPad's playing up. It's making a funny noise. I think my iPad's had seen better days.
How old is the iPad?
England's not going good at chasing the score against them. You see they're already seeing a match. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard. Other countries don't realise how bad Moeen and Woakes are at batting. Root out, all out. Moeen Ali is unpredictable. There's no doubt about that. He can bat very well, but he can get out cheaply too. All right, let's have a look what the story is here. There's a lot of discussion about Kohli's conversion rate. And look, that's a little bit hard. Well, New Zealand, by the way, in the third T20 match against Bangladesh, have beaten Bangladesh pretty soundly. Bangladesh were all out for 76. New Zealand were 5 for 128. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I was happy to see New Zealand winning. I was happy, especially with Australia losing against Bangladesh and New Zealand. I thought Bangladesh has become such a great team.
Well, at home at least, anyway.
Yeah.
So I posed a question about 4 hours ago. I said, what is the likely result of the fourth test at the Oval? And I had 885 people vote. And India 68%, England 13%, and draw 19%, what people predicted. So we'll see how that comes out by the end of the match. Look at India's scores, 191 and then 466. England 290 and none for 77. Very unusual. Normally, innings you see that get worse as the day goes on.
This is like the Kolkata test. First innings, in fact, India's both innings were together, but it's a huge.
Harsh
And
Gupta's in good form. Harsh Gupta just talked about the time machine and about what was the other thing he said, which was funny. He said about the time machine.
Concussion was harsh.
Oh yes, the time machine, the concussion. Well, now he wants Javo back.
But concussion, I'm correct, right? It's not applicable for tests, right? It's only for ODI and T20s.
What?
The concussion substitute. It's not applicable for tests.
No, it's test matches. No, it's test matches. Steve Smith was hit on the head, and Manu Slabashane came in as play for him in an England test. So no, it's quite funny, but yeah, Jadeja could pretend to be hit by a ball in the field, and we've got to bring another player on.
Yeah, but I think if they want to get Ashwin, the only person to be hit, I think, would be Jadeja.
Yeah, they should have given Shardul over too. Save me Norman tomorrow will be the worst day in Indian cricket history. Flattest pitch ever. Bumrah can score. If Bumrah can score 100, or Bumrah didn't score 100. What do you mean 100 and he's bowling? Amin Jingle, what are you saying?
He is saying even Bumrah can score 100 on this pitch, so England can very easily.
But Bumrah didn't score 100.
Yeah, he answers it. Anuj answered his own question.
Yeah.
He did not even score a 50. Forget 100.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit silly to say that.
Garib Banker already has ideas. Put Jadeja at short leg for concussion.
Can you imagine if they did something like that? Can you imagine it? It'd be a bit obvious because it happens just to be Jadeja, and like for like as a spin bowler. Then, or maybe the England side can help decide who replaces him. Maybe Akshar Patel should come in because he's a part of the squad. Here we go. Ankur Naik has found someone else to blame. He's blaming the Oval pitch curator now. Oh, what a load of rubbish.
But today morning I saw that the umpires were getting the balls, and so the bowling team gets to choose the ball before they. I was not aware of this. I came to know this today. I thought the umpires just come and this is the ball and play. It's like.
Well, I would prefer it to be that way, to be honest with you. But at least what they're doing is stopping complaints later from the bowling side about the ball. It's actually a good thing because if they've got, 6-9 balls to choose from, and the bowlers choose that, then there's no complaints later. It's actually clever of the umpires and ICC to do that. It's actually clever because it stops that rubbish going on during the match. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, because I know like when the ball is damaged and they change, that time they ask the bowling team like, okay, these are the balls and which one you want to take. So that's what they do. But I didn't know pre-match. I didn't know that pre-match also they asked the bowling team to check the balls.
Yeah, but I mean the bowling. The company that makes the balls, the so-called Duke's balls, supplies. I don't know how many. I'm going to guess and say 20 balls for the entire match or something like that, maybe more. And then you pick 4 balls out.
Replacement balls in terms of overs also, right? Like 5 overs.
Oh, that's a separate selection altogether. But the brand new balls, because effectively each team has potentially 2 new balls for each innings, roughly. So that's 4. There's 8 balls a game, roughly. So 5 tests is 40 balls. They probably make about 100 balls. Who knows?
So when we saw Kohli and I think Bumrah, they were selecting. So they would have selected the second new ball also there itself. So the first ball and the second ball would have been selected by.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess they would. They have to do both. They would have to because when the umpire comes out for the second new ball, they just throw 1 ball. They haven't got a box at that stage.
That time I don't see the umpire showing the bowling team and bowling team selecting a ball. So
Buncle Dana reckons that even Jeffrey Boycott's mum could score 100. I don't think so. We've got a lot of comedians tonight. Is there a possibility to clinch 10 wickets? Of course there is, Shane Day. Looking at the pitch being more batting friendly, but it's not about batting friendly, it's about scoreboard pressure. If early wickets fall due to mistakes. Harsh Gupta's got read this comment. It's directed to you, Param. Read that one.
But there's no answer. What can I answer to this question?
If India should have stopped at 310 lead, no, they shouldn't have. That would have been really dangerous. Vihari can bowl off spinners. He should be played when Ashwin not selected. Not picking two spinners is a big blunder. No, I don't agree. I think it was a big blunder. Even I could score 100 using a stick of rhubarb instead of a bat. We really have got comedians here tonight. Okay, that's the comment. Vijay says first possibility draw, second possibility India win, third possibility England losing. I still think still India's the first one at this stage. We'll see what happens next session. Jadeja was some good deliveries towards him, but it wasn't consistent enough, I'm afraid.
No, but he came in the groove in the end. That was for sure.
Yeah, but it took 10 overs to get there, which wasn't good.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take that long to improve his bowling. Oh, God. All right, so we've got about an hour.
Bakul Dada saying Ganguly needs to. Ganguly is still over there in England, or because I saw him in the Lord's Test, but after that I did not see him. Is he still over there?
He would be heading for the. He'd be heading for the IPL in UAE.
Okay.
Vishwal Jadee says, isn't enough? We should drop Rahane and get Vihari or Sky. It was interesting when they used Sky in the field today. I reckon there's a bit of something going on there because Sky was put into the slips. Sky was given a lot more of a preference than even Vihari wasn't used in the field. Agarwal was, but they do like Sky, I tell you. Read that one. What will happen if a player tested COVID positive in the middle of this test match? Will there be a substitute? That's an interesting situation, actually.
I think it will abandon. I think that's what will happen if a player actually, because then they will have to cordon off the other players also. It cannot be just because at least the players are together. So if a playing player is COVID positive, then I think the match will be abandoned.
But how come? Oh, I don't understand this, Baran. If Shastri's deemed to be positive, right, and some of the physiotherapist and bowling coach, whatever, is also being quarantined, why wouldn't the players be included in that as well? Because they've come in contact with Shastri.
They tested them again. They tested all of them again, and they turned out to be negative. But why these other four were still kept, I have no idea.
But you get my point. Whether a player's tested negative, it doesn't matter about that. It's because they're in close contact with Shastri that they have to be quarantined. But I guess because they're already in a bubble, they don't need to be quarantined any further, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense? They're so heavily quarantined as a group of players that even though Shastri is positive, they're not going to spread it any further than the team. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. No, it's not true. I'm a bit shocked if the coach has got a COVID-19 positive reading that they haven't actually done something more dramatic with the side. Look what happened in the England team. Remember how they complete the entire team couldn't play the next series at all.
The one you're talking about, the matches against Pakistan, right?
Yes.
And
the entire side was quarantined.
No, what I read was only that yesterday Shastri turned out positive, so then they had to take tests of everybody again. That came negative. Then today morning they again took one more test in which everybody again came negative. So
but the fact is they may be still negative, but they've been in constant contact with Shastri. The actual COVID-19 positive test doesn't necessarily come out until days and days later.
The RT-PCR, I think, would take at least 24 hours for them. But I have not seen any thing that he is confirmed positive. But also another thing that all these people are vaccinated. All of the players are vaccinated. So
I don't know. No,
it
it's
would be
not about.
anything severe also.
No, but it's not about. No, it's nothing to. It's got nothing to do with them being vaccinated. That's fine. That means they won't die. They're in a good situation. We're happy with that. But if anybody comes into contact with other people, those other people are not only tested negative, have to be tested negative, but they also have to be quarantined because that might be a delayed spread. That's more the issue. It's more about that than anything else. It's not
That's
really,
even just my mind that if Shastri turned and those four means, are you saying that Shastri since was in contact with only those four and nobody else from the whole?
that's not. There's no way. He was sitting with the players.
That doesn't make sense.
He was playing. He was sitting with the players intimately in the dressing rooms after every session. So he was in contact with them for sure.
So it's a big mystery to be solved now. How does Shastri?
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. If the coach is COVID positive, he would have got it from somewhere, and he must have been in the presence of other players enough that they should be, pulled up for that. That's what I would have thought.
I have not even heard. The first time I'm hearing about this test, the lateral flow test, because
I've got no idea what it is.
What I heard before was one is the most main one is RT-PCR, in that you have the saliva as well as the swab test, and the second is the antigen test.
I've actually got to go for a COVID-19 test myself tomorrow because one thing is I'm around my mother who's 90, but I've almost 90, but I've got a message saying I've got to be. I wasn't in close contact with anyone, but I have to get checked. It maybe it's something to do with where I've been. One of the places I've been to.
My sister also, she's in Sydney, and they also got a call and they had to go because they were in the mall shopping, and one of the I think the person working in the mall tested positive. So that day, whoever visited the mall had to get tested.
Yeah, that looks like that's what's happened to me.
Okay.
I've been somewhere. They're not telling me where, by the way, which really annoys me. And I messaged back. I got this message that says, produce a COVID-19 negative result, please. I said, what for? And I haven't asked them. I'm a bit annoyed. It's like it almost looks fraudulent. It's not fraudulent, but I'm annoyed that I'm not getting told what it's about.
Interesting.
But we're going to head for 3,000 or 4,000 a day, which is huge for Sydney.
Bakul's second last comment is also very if he tested positive, if positive yesterday, then he must have been positive at least since 2-3 days.
Well, he's been around the players. There's no doubt. He's around the players all the time.
So very difficult to comprehend. Logically, I really thought that if he, then other players match would have been abandoned, because there was a lot of news also going on. Obviously, all was fake, that matches are abandoned and everything.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused what they do with that. Mid-game, what do? Do they stop the game in its tracks? In the IPL, they did. In the IPL, when they found COVID cases, the whole tournament was stopped, wasn't it?
Yeah, but here is being a test match in between of a 5 day. I think
that's not the basis. That's not the basis of letting it continue, bro. I mean, that just
I'm saying here you will be actually. See, in case of IPL, you're stopping in between. You're not stopping a match as a set. Here, you are be actually abandoning a match, or you will be really stopping it.
But they have got no choice. If someone's
they have to do it. I'm not saying that they
can do it mid session. They can do it in the middle of the day. It doesn't matter when they will do it. It's not really you don't go, oh, I've got to continue working, let me work even though I have COVID-19. No. Because they could then infect people around the boundary.
It won't happen middle of the day, because their tests usually come in the evening itself or the next day morning. So then only the match, I think they have timed it that way. So if it happens, it will happen before the players take the field itself.
Yeah, fair enough. But still, I think it's a bit unusual what's taking place. If Shastri and the coaching staff are all tested positive, who will coach the Indian team the next match? Well, I did see the batting coach was still there this afternoon. So, but that's another thing. Wouldn't he have been with a coach as well? I don't get it.
Shastri not being with the players is beyond my. I don't know how is that possible.
Yeah.
Then who was Shastri with? That's the question.
I'm being asked by Maya Moray, Norman, why do you think India will win and England won't? New ball's gone, pitch is flat, nobody can reverse that wicket taking spinner. Required run rate is only 3 per over. Well, no one has scored more than 3 per over in the whole Test series for the entire day. We got 273 runs scored today on an incredible day. That'll take a big effort and not to lose wickets tomorrow. They lost 7 wickets today. If India lose 7 wickets tomorrow, they'll be all out because they'll lose all 10.
How many total overs were let's say how many total overs were bowled today?
88.2, I think it was.
England played 32 overs and
it was 88.2, they reckon. I saw the stat.
Okay.
Tomorrow history at the Oval will be made by England. Anil Prashant thinks. I don't think so.
And today, like if you see, India scored actually in the middle session they scored very very. So if England has to win it, then they really need to score briskly both in the first as well as second session and very fast in the third session, which I don't think they will do it in the first session. They won't take the risk. So it will be a big test. I still don't rule out the England victory. Let me tell you, I would still say there's a 20-25% chance of England winning. There is I would say 40-45% chance of India.
Yeah, but it's a miracle if England wins. Let's be honest. It's going to everything has to go perfectly. Everything has to go perfectly. Even though they've done okay this evening with a none for 77 opening partnership, they lose a couple of wickets. The match flips on its head straight away.
Yeah,
doesn't it? So let's not. It's very hard to. Really, it's hard. England wins. Of course, England wins on the cards. It's a miracle of India. Arnold Jingle, what nationality are you? You're dead against India. You're saying it's a miracle of India wins. It's not a miracle of India. It's a miracle of England wins at this point. There is nothing in that wicket. It's a dead pitch. Well, it's a very good pitch, actually. If you want to bring the run rate, ask Jadeja to bowl into the rough for a right-hander. That they just can't hit that. Yeah, they got to get Bumrah to bowl and really scuff up the wicket when he runs. Okay, Harsh Gupta's definitely drinking something there. He's on some acid or something. Need to bring artificial overcast conditions somehow. What? How are they going to do that?
I think it's nighttime, nothing to do. People are coming up with weird and creative ideas.
Harsh Gupta's drinking something funny or smoking something funny, I think. Indian bowls were licking 3+. Licking? 3+.
Could be
I'm
leaking.
not sure that. I'm sure. I'm practical logical of it. Okay. Shastri was sitting next to Bharat Arun and Vikram Rattan yesterday, and all the players. There's no way the players weren't in close contact with Shastri. They were. Absolutely were. Weren't they?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's difficult to.
There's a lot of pressure on Jadeja. I feel sorry for him because I don't think he really deserves all the pressure. They've heaped a lot of stuff on him, haven't they? Malan and Root will have a great day tomorrow. They almost won't be out. They're the keys to the team. Those two, I reckon, for sure. Indian bowls were leaking 3+ in the first thing. That's a better pitch now. Yeah, it's still a big effort for the batting side to continue to get those runs if they lose wickets. That's the key. Bumrah, a key bowler tomorrow. Yeah, he looked a bit. There was no luck their way. There was no luck. He got both the openers very cheaply in the first innings, didn't he? No, I'm not taking seriously. England need Wood, Mahmood, and Leach. What, in this match? they'll probably get all three next Test match. I reckon there's a good chance that Wood's going to replace Overton. Mahmood could well replace Anderson. I think James Anderson might be cooked. He's played 4 Test matches in a row. He looked decidedly not 100%.
Ollie Robinson also looked cooked today. He looked like completely out of breath. Like
but out of the two, Anderson's probably the most.
I can see him. But if what Tim Milton is saying that that the England batting, then the tail becomes very short also, because all these Wood, Mahmood, Leach, they're batting wise they're not so good.
Although Jack Leach stood at the other end while Ben Stokes got a large score, remember?
Yeah, so that's one good thing. In this match, there is no Leach as well as Stokes. So
exactly. I mean, Ben Stokes is probably the one person that could really change this match. I really think, even though Root bats well, he may not get out. That he doesn't score quickly. That's for sure. All right, here we go. So, what's your prediction? Tell me your heart feeling. Fishwood, I still think India are going to win. Or a draw, but India's going to win. I'm getting in trouble with Harsh Gupta. He said, I don't drink a smoke. Don't say that, please. All right. I was up. Hang on. I was just joking. You were talking about time machines. You were just joking. We both can joke, Harsh Gupta. We can both joke.
No, but you did not say drink or smoke. You were talking about something even else.
Yeah. I was something steaming with Ashwin. Okay. Harsh Gupta, I'm sorry. I apologise, but I didn't mean it. I was joking as well. Rory can easily be taken. Yeah, that's true. Tomorrow is more tests of Kohli's captaincy, how much he tries to make things happen and don't let things drift. That's a good point. Buckledale's got a good point there. If Kohli can, position his bowlers to do the job, and I like before every start of the play, he gets all the guys in the huddle. Have you noticed that? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Kohli has a large pep talk before they go on the field.
I think that's from the time of Dhoni. Dhoni also used to do that a lot.
Well, any captain should really. Root does it as well. Root and Kohli look at each other. The weather tomorrow is going to be like it was today. Clear as a belter. It's going to be actually very hot.
Today it was like shining sun right from the. In fact, India started out well also, but then if you see the first hour, India did not lose any wickets, and or the first 30 minutes, India did not lose any wickets, which was good. Then I thought Kohli and Jadeja will just take over from here, and then Jadeja lost his wicket. Then Rane came. Rane immediately got out. That's where it little teetered. And then Kohli also got out in the same. So there were 3 wickets were lost in the first session itself.
Yeah, Rahane was disappointing. He was out almost 2 or 3 times LBW, wasn't he? Very close each time.
He was not even able to hit it. It felt as if he had no idea how to what's going on, and that one such a wicket was very. And it was not as if the ball was also doing much or he was bowling some beautiful balls.
Yeah, that's true. The wicket wasn't doing anything, so there was no excuses for Rahane's batting. Now, Anuj Jingle, when you have gorillas like Shaw and Surya, why throw sheep in front of tigers? Oh my God, I'm not sure where we're getting all that from. If Virat has changed up the heart,
so many metaphors in that one statement.
There's something in the water today. There's something in the water. People drinking. All right. I think the pitch is ideal for a test match. Well, yeah, it is. Look, the test wicket is a bit more of a one-day feel about it. It has, I must say.
Anuj is saying India will lose. Tim is saying England will lose. I think both of them need to come together and meet. They want to make a nice, good friends.
Okay. Well, this will be the last test match for Rahane. He's going to have to He probably will. No, I don't know. I'm now doubting a little bit. I still think they're not going to change the batting lineup, but it's intriguing actually.
If India, let's say, lose tomorrow, then they might. They might, considering that they have to win the next match. Then
Now that's a good point. We've seen Anderson bowl 33 overs today in total. Can we expect Jasprit Bumrah to do the same? I would say no.
I think Anderson got 33 all today. He had a one spell yesterday, and
whether it was actually probably worse if he bowled some yesterday and some today, because your body needs more than a day to recover from bowling. If you bowl more than 10 overs in a day,
especially a fast bowler, fast bowler,
your body, you feel the next day you're pretty stiff and sore. I tell you, no matter how fit you are pretty stiff and sore. So Anderson would have been feeling it because he bowled a number of the overs today as well. They would have been feeling it. They bowled 10 or so yesterday and say 20 on today. They'd be feeling it big time. And that's it's in terms of India, they haven't bowled that much today, so they'll be still able to be fresh enough for tomorrow, won't they?
Yeah, let's hope. 32 overs already bowled today. So see, one also important point is that after 50 overs tomorrow or after 48 overs tomorrow, India will get the new ball. So that's also a very critical point in the match.
That's true. But by that stage, they're going to need to have taken quite a few wickets. Anderson will play at Old Trafford even on one leg. He has one end named after him. It's true. I think Anderson's playing every test match because there's still a possibility that he could be retiring next match. There's still a possibility.
I'm just thinking like future cricketers, let's say 20, 30 years down the line, if you're there, what will they have? Like if already all the ends and the stands are being named after cricketers, 20, 30 years down the line, what will happen? They will have to make new stadiums. Have you thought about it? Like,
yeah, I mean, they normally don't replace names and stadiums by another player. They keep.
Yeah,
that's true. It's a good point. It's a good point. I thought you were going to say in 20 or 30 years' time, the players won't stop at 39; they'll go to 45. I think there was a guy called Bert. I think it was Bert Ironmonger, who played to almost 50 or 51 for I think it was Australia back in about the turn of the century, last century. He started late though. I think he started in his late 30s, but he played until he was 51 or something.
I think the current guy who can break that record, maybe Chris Gayle.
Well, or Brad Hogg was going close when before he stopped playing the short form.
Chris Gayle is already 43, 44, right?
Is he? 42, maybe 43. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Adam Hollioake turned 50 yesterday. Who's on our show? He wouldn't like me saying that. He would not like me saying that. Siddharth Kumar only possibility for England to win is when they will make 170, 180 runs till tea without losing more than 4 wickets. Otherwise, India will win a draw. I think that's pretty close to true. Gale's 41, Pritham Shai saying.
I think really there is something in the water. Look what Tim Wilton Davis is saying now.
Shane Warner will get bulldozed when Leach takes his 800th wicket. What?
That's what I'm saying.
For Leach to get 800 wickets, he's going to have to play till he's 60. and first and foremost, has to be selected by his country that haven't selected him at all this summer. If India lose tomorrow, Kohli will have highest.
Maybe he's referring to PlayStation or something. Leach playing.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Anil Prashant has got a point. He said in 2018, the Oval Test, India made 345. That's a fair point. But they still won't win you the game if you play today. Won't win you the game. Yeah, I don't remember much about that game. I should go back and have a look at that match because it must have been quite a match because Punt scored a century, and so did Rahul, didn't he, in that last innings? Pretty good effort, really. All right.
Norman,
So
I take a leave if you're.
yeah, no worries, bro. I'm gonna start calling it quits soon myself. All right, bro. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have a result.
Yeah, let's see.
See you
Okay,
in the post show.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the post show tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks, bro.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
See ya.
And make sure of what you're drinking. Bye.
See ya. Yeah, well, that's great that Bram was in contact with us. Chris Woakes Media Conference is a Chris Woakes Media Conference, I can see. I always miss those. So Chris Woakes was in a media conference. Be interesting to hear what Chris Woakes has to say. Hey, Chris Woakes, why would he be in the media conference though? I guess.
Okay, Rory, over to you. Go ahead.
Let's have a look here. So while we do this now, guys, my money is Siraj taking wickets tomorrow. Manu, Johnny, reckon. Why is that? He didn't bowl that well today. So Chris Woakes has gone. I don't know why. Why would Chris Woakes have been interviewed today? So look, I'm just putting the what I do, guys, is I upload the video for Chris Woakes while we're talking. He didn't take many wickets today, did he? Let's have a look here. I'm just going to have to upload this. So we get these videos from the interview that they have press conference wise. We have to then put it together and upload it. Let's have a look here. So it's the England versus India, and then fourth test. So what I do, guys, is I upload it. Fourth test at the Oval. Then I cut and paste and I put it into my version, and then we post it. That's the process we do when a media conference comes out. That's what we do. So maybe even Charlotte, only short balls, and England tried to vary their pace and their length to try and throw, and it worked. It worked somewhat, didn't it? England versus India. Hold a second, guys. I won't be a sec. All right, give me a second. Team India. Virat Kohli. Then we go Chris Woakes. There we go. All right, so I upload that there, guys. That's what's taking me a bit of time. Just bear with me a second, and I'll just do this. It'll be my 715th video. This is actually, okay. It takes a second, guys. Copy. Then you upload, add to playlists, and you go bang, and then it uploads. All right, we're done. All right. So where were we? India need someone like Graham McKenzie tomorrow. Graham McKenzie, Barry Wilson. Graham McKenzie, the Australian bowler you're talking about? That's a while back. How old are you, Barry Wilson? Can you ask questions to players in the press conference? I can, but I can't do this show and do that at the same time. Tomorrow we'll see aggressive variant like Lord's Test. Let's hope so. Captaincy defining match. Kohli currently stands at 13 out of 21 in losses with 61% loss. No, but Gareth Baker is the most successful Indian captain ever. So I don't know where you're getting that from. His percentages have been pretty good, actually. Completely opposite of what you're thinking. Let's get this video up.
Okay, Rory, over to you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chris, for talking to us. We have ourselves an interesting test match, how do you know?
So they're saying it was an interesting test match. It is an interesting test match. It is certainly. I mean, it's been, it's a very interesting test match indeed because of the way that it's transpired. There's no doubt about that.
2 days have been.
We're going to do some turning off on and off of things here. Yeah, it's quite a bit of effort to upload a video, I tell you guys. A fair bit of rigmarole you got to go through to get that done, but it's worth it. You have a certain amount of pleasure out of doing it. That's at least what I do. And again, this is always a pleasure to be able to do these things for you guys. So we've got that video up. So Chris Wokes' interview has just gone up in that little short amount of time. How about that? Not bad at all.
Okay, Rory, over to you.
So evenly, I'd say the test is evenly poised.
Chris, for talking to us.
Would you say?
We have ourselves an interesting test.
It's evenly poised, I would argue. Like successful Indian captain on doctored Indian pitch. Oh, I don't know. Why Rohit didn't do the fielding? Rohit didn't do the fielding because he's obviously, maybe he injured himself while he was batting, or maybe had a stiffness or soreness. Both Pujara and his ankle, and obviously Rohit Sharma. Not sure what the soreness is actually. They're not telling us. Sore. What's the word for soreness? There we go. So they did not field. What do you think about that? I mean, if there's a genuine injury, then yes. But just resting because they were tired, that should be not enough of a reason to not have a player play. Looks like Hamid might go for 102. I don't know. Shardul Thakur was great today. Definitely think Shardul Thakur was great today. I think he played very well, don't you? He needs Rohit's bowling tomorrow. Well, that's if he's able to bowl. He may have to bowl because he can't not have him in the side, because we haven't got Ashwin there, of course. But they're going to miss not having Ashwin. I'll tell you that now. Yeah, Ashwin non-selection. Now showing. It's now showing. So interesting. Okay. Well, that's an interesting point. Whether he's injured sufficiently to not play the next Test match. Pujara is in some doubt, which may open the door for Vihari Agarwal, not based on form but on injury. No swing, no movement. The reality is we were talking about it before. Why Kohli went with Jadeja over Ashwin when it lost. Yeah, it's not not really still accepted. Is there a possibility of Pujara being rested? Yeah, there is. Pujara and Sharma potentially rested, potentially. It'll be interesting to see what happens because I'm sure that Pujara wouldn't want that because he wouldn't want his the players coming through to get him. Why Root took the heavy roller? Well, to flatten the pitch. I can see it's probably India has to get 4 wickets within first session. Yeah. Of course, the heavy roller only adds to the flattening. I don't know what it's a bio bubble breach at all. Well, how did Shastri get the COVID? We don't know that. He probably doesn't know it. It's very difficult to know. They could have come across someone just slightly. It does. If India couldn't get English, why they play? Because Manchester's not known to be a pitch which will take spin, whereas the Oval is one ground that they thought would take spin. So that's one issue that's there, but who knows what they're going to do. So Rajasekhar Bolaris, has Shastri breached the wire bubble? I don't believe he has. At this point, we don't know. But Bairstow's suing him? I don't know whether Bairstow's actually suing him. Sky Over is replaced in place of Rahane. What would be the ideal batting position? Well, they're going to have to beat down the order. Why would you change the top order of Indian batting line? Collins put Saul in his pocket like Atherton did in the 90s, scratched the ball. Oh, why are we going that far back? Why don't we get Sandpaper Gate going in with Bancroft and Smith and Warner? No, Tim, that'd be ridiculous. God forbid if there's any drop catches, then it's bad. Well, no, John, hang on a minute. Rohit Sharma's missing. That's his slip feeling, not his bowling is where they'll probably miss something. Absolutely. Rohit in the slips will be missed. I'll tell you what, Rory Burns is a shocker. He's been ridiculed quite a bit for his slip fielding, so that'll be interesting to see whether they give him any more time. Certainly he's been ordinary. Rory Burns shouldn't be in the slips. He's a pretty good fielder generally, but okay, it's a fair point about Ashwin. Let's get off that now. We can't do anything about that at this moment. Zahir Khan and Rahane needs to play first-class cricket final. Zahir Khan is finished. And reviews with no shot forward will be very crucial. Okay. England batsmen haven't edged a single ball in the innings. Interesting. How is it possible that Shastri was not in contact with players? I totally agree. I find that bemusing. Wouldn't the players have been up for something as well? I don't understand that. I don't know what the ruling is behind that, but it doesn't seem right somehow. At what point might India get defensive? Well, not too well into the last session will they do that. Rory is not made for this. It's correct. God save our Indian team. Okay. England without Root are bad. One-man band. That's true. If Root goes early, it'll be very interesting to see what actually does happen. Root is a significant wicket for sure. All right. Why the sun never sets in the British Empire? Well, it certainly set. It was very sunny today, and it's going to be extra warm tomorrow. Well over 30 degrees. Tim Wilton, bro, have you forgotten Ollie Pope, the next big thing. I don't know. When Prithvi Shaw struggled in Australia, management dropped him to correct this technique and play ratio. So why can't they do that to Rahane? Very good point. But there is a history of Rahane being vice captain as well. Good night, it's already 12:39. Okay, well, that's good. You go to bed. How can it be 12:39? Can't be. Oh, probably yes, it is. If I were Coley, I'd copy Law's crowd batsmanship. Yeah. Will the pitch favour the batsman on day 5? Yeah, that probably will still. And BCC, I must be concerned. I certainly agree with that one. It's a big issue for sure. Huge issue. So Chris Wokes has spoken probably at length. He was happy with the bowling performances of the team. I think that bowled okay. It's 12:40 a.m. in India now. Wow, well, it's 5:09 a.m. in Sydney. Do you realise that? Thank you, Bakodo. I appreciate it. Is there any acquaintance of you watching the match live on the ground? Yeah, there is. We've got people down there as well. Just looking at some of the reports, if there's anything coming out in the press about some of these players. We'll just wait and see. Okay. Any more questions, guys? A lot of comments about England winning easily. That's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Let's have a look at there. So what have we got here? Who is your best bet for picking wickets tomorrow? Jadeja or Rowan? I don't think Rowan. Maybe it's a bit of a surprise bowler. I think Bumrah still, and Umesh. And were you at the SG in 2008? Yes, I certainly was. Remember, Norman, I told you yesterday that we are in for a thriller, but you turned me down by saying that I'm a drama person. No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that at all. Please tell me when you will sleep. After this show, I'm eager to know. I'll sleep for the next 6 or so hours after the show. Right, any thoughts? England bowling was rusty. They were tired. Mwende Maruku, great show today. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. I need to make that comment. It's a nice comment. There we go. Even if a person is COVID positive, it takes time to show symptoms. They need to be cautious. There are chances of the symptoms being displayed after 2 or 3 days. You're right. That's what I'm getting at. The players have been exposed to Shastri and some of the other physio and the like. Why have they? Oh, I'm not sure what's going on there. How's weather back in New South Wales? Well, it's warmer today. It's spring now. India and England have equal chance of winning. Pitches batting friendly. What do you think result possible? Jay, I still think India slightly ahead. Draw England. Anderson is England's fast bowler. Ominous for the Ashes. Fastest bowler? Oh, Mark Wood's faster. What do you mean? Seriously need to think about Rahane. Even Shardul has more runs than him despite playing too much. Yeah, that's true. I told you that either India will win by 10 runs or England will win by 1 wicket. No, I didn't deny that. I didn't think it was a drama quit. Bro, how's your shoulder? It's better. Any update on Rohit? Not that I'm seeing. I'm going to try and find if there's any. I'm not seeing any update on those players. My iPad's playing up. Can't check anything at the moment. Bit disturbing. Moray could well go towards the end of the match. Yeah, absolutely. Well, iPad's playing up. Pull that out. Okay. ECB keep on completing this match at least. Lots of money riding on, especially if it needs one when it gets cancelled. That's true. I think India will lose tomorrow. India will lose tomorrow and we'll miss Ashwin. That's true. They're going to miss Ashwin. They're going to have a lot of problems with that. What do you think about Indian bowlers? What will it be in their mind now? They'll just simply keep a good line length. Wood is injury prone. England bowlers need the juice, or they can get okay. Oh, that's a bit dismissive. How can India make a comeback tomorrow? Saying all Satvik, Bugara, they're going to bowl today. They're going to bowl accurately from one end, and Bumrah's got to bowl as many Yorkers as he can. Sure, last T20 specials, England lineup. Yeah, it's run rate's not possible. India should win this match for the fifth pitch, fifth day. Yeah. What other devices do you use for live stream? It's called StreamYard. Do you have any friends here in India? I have plenty of friends and colleagues all over India. A great deal of friends and colleagues. As would be ineffective in Ashes because of his heavy workload. If he keeps going this way, yeah. England bowled 148.2 overs. Can't see Anderson playing and mentioned within 3 days. So, yeah, I think, Amarchi, you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of Anderson maybe resting and Saki Mahmood might get a go. Same with Bumrah too. What do you think fifth test is happening or can well, due to COVID? That's an interesting question because of what's happened with Shastri. Even though the players are negative, there might be a need to quarantine. We just don't know. Any chance of rain tomorrow? So, no. None at all is what we're hearing. No rain at all. Kohli is taking a lot of things too personally. Yeah. Are they really missing Ashwin at this time? I think so. Is the ball due? No, it's only about 32 overs. So they've got another 48 overs to go along with. Yes, Sunday Harper Thantri, where have you been? I haven't seen you all day. Have you interviewed I've seen photos with you. Well, it wasn't an interview as such, it was a night we organised with him. Will England change batting order? I don't think so. Mark Wood could replace Anderson in the fifth test. He could well do it. I think Overton's gone. India needs 400 target to feel safe. Or it's already gone past that. One end, Australia will bowl. I think so. Tomorrow is bright and sunny. That's true. It's not a T20. England will win. Yes, Sunday, you're always Rudy is cute. Yes, Sunday, he may be cute, doesn't mean he's going to win. You love Rudy. We'll go and marry him then. How much time is it now? What do you mean? What time is it? It's now 5:16 a.m. Today's bowled well. Do you think it can be effective tomorrow? Bowled okay, then bowled well. It's too much unnecessary. No, it was necessary. What's the winning percentage for both teams? At the moment, I think it was more for India had a higher percentage than draw than England. Yeah, Ashwin doesn't look happy, does he? Oh no, sorry. What? How many overs were goals? Well, apparently 90. I thought it was 98. I'm Rooty. It's not Rooties. It's Root. Pope has average of 100 at an oval. That's wonderful, but he only got 81, didn't he, the first things? Wicket tomorrow will be returned. Yes, it certainly will be returned. Tomorrow pitch condition, a road still, batting paradise, hardly breaking up, maybe a little bit for Jadeja. England's highest six test running. That was a winning limit at another ground. You're right. Okay, all right. Bye, Norman. See you Sunday. That was quick fire here and gone. Here 1 minute and gone the next. Smarty still opens both bowling. Well, he's bowling quite poorly at the moment. This could be the last test for Rahane. Could be. I don't know. It's hard to say. The Indian selectors are not going against him. Tell me something about the Taj Mahal photo behind me. That was in 4 or 5 years ago. Tomorrow you touch 1 subscribers one day. 1 mil. Okay. Isn't Shani underrated? No. Oh, he is a bit, yeah. Headingley was lively in the pitch, it's true. 1 million subs. Well, your son, you go and get them for me. 368 will be too much. 367 in England's high school. No, that was a fair time to do something. They did okay. Punt was wasted too much time and ball through side. No, he had a job to do. He had to spend time in the middle. If we see higher run chases, it is not more than 2. Okay, you'll touch one. Thank you. Bye. Stay safe. See you later. Okay. Getting up to 2 hours, guys. All right. I'm going to post some of these things which I've got here. Got a lot of photographs that I take during the session. Post day 4. Let's have a look here. So we can get an update there. I miss India Soba Java. Okay, what's your favourite Indian dishes? I've already talked this before. All of them. Chicken tikka curry, vindaloo curries, all sorts of mutton curries. Headingley Chase was Ben Stokes, not England. That's true. Anderson to score 6 sixes tomorrow, all reverse whips. Tim Wilton Davies, you must be drinking. Maya Sanadiri, you're back. She's left already. If England bat all day tomorrow, on Wednesday will not be a draw. Okay, we'll see. Shadow will play any role in the second innings bowling as he's swing bowling at this. I think he will. Ever shoot 2 sixes, he did too. What do you do on the pastime? I've talked about I used to be a federal government. I worked as language service manager during the Olympics, involved with media for 15 years, played cricket. He tried reverse sweeps. So we were that darker. Okay, it wasn't invented in Britain. Everyone remembers the Stokes at Tenley, but no one remembers Root made 77 and laid the foundation. Interesting points. Interesting points. Okay, I'm going to aim for a certain amount today, guys. What's wrong with my iPad? Hooray. Okay, we've got it working. Let's look at the stats we've got here. So, yeah, so it's definitely been 32 overs for the 77. So steady, they're saying steady has a bead on Placid Track. Okay. Very interesting indeed. It's nice. Go look at the profile followed back. Oh, interesting. All right. So I'm just going to do a bit of work here, guys. Let me just get this sorted. There's always a bit of work to be done while we're talking. So what's the matter with Ben Stokes? He's mentally, unfortunately, affected by velocity father. Which smartphone do you use? I use an iPhone. Pakistan is going to announce their squad tomorrow. What are your thoughts? Who should be in the team? That's a long discussion. We'll have it when the squad comes out. Which England surviving will hold 90 overs. Well, what if Johnny plays aggressively tomorrow? Johnny Bairstow, yeah. What's the matter with the? I've mentioned that. Yes, but Root did not bat. Draw chances 75%. That's pretty high. It's a bit too high, I think. Shadozi can get little, but it's been right as he won't let anyone stand. Root is one except for them, maybe. Umesh Yadav will get him out. I think more. I think more than Ashwin, India missing Shami. Yeah. Shami, someone that would probably be missing. I'd accept that. What am I doing here? Okay. I'm just looking at this.
Okay, Rory, over to you. Go ahead.
It's good when you can paste for an iPad. You paste from an iPad, and then put your finger on your phone, and you can paste it across. I never knew that you could do that.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Quite interesting. So England's score today was reasonably impressive considering the stage of the match. Shardul Thakur, you got to take your hat off to Shardul Thakur. He really did. He certainly did play well. He outdid Punt actually. They were interesting together because he got a good comparison of the two players together in the one side, didn't you? Yeah, man, and it's true that they say here that Shardul Thakur and Rishabh Pant's fifth half centuries actually did frustrate India. It certainly did. England were very frustrated by this. So it's the highest second innings total of a test since 2009. Just shows that that India nothing to be sneezed at what they did. They did a great job. The highest second innings score of a test since 2009. That's a pretty impressive stat. I'll tell you right now. That's pretty impressive. England openers were tasked with, Rory Burns have proven to be pretty good. I'll give them that much. Considering the match where they were, I think it was the third test match where they, in Headingley, where they went India all out for 78 and England were none for 120. This is a similar opening batting performance by England here. It's commendable. It is certainly commendable. But Shardul Thakur did well. Rahane was particularly disappointing. But in the scheme of things, it doesn't matter because they got the runs. The 466 was a very good effort indeed. So you can't knock that. Rahane's had no such luck. Really. You could argue, hasn't he? Luck, he's just out of form. He played again in front of his pad. He awkwardly was falling over, something that you can't really afford to do, and he was doing that. So it's pretty ordinary, actually. And Chris Wokes has been on doing his so-called interview. Okay, I believe in Lord's Shardul Thakur for supremacy. Oh, there we go. Why different rules for wide ball in the test match in ODI? Well, you can't, in ODIs, the wide ball's almost immediately leg side. It's deliberate because it saves on that deliberate negativity. In a test match, it's open. This will be high chase now. Well, let's say that. Will this be a Gabba? I don't think so. Tim Her? Should Shardul better than Wokes in 220? Yeah. Brent is the key tomorrow. As simple as that. Yes, he is. Will ball reverse swing tomorrow for English? Let's hope it does. Having been to the West Indies, I guess it's a nice place to visit. Satvik Bagara, I've been to West Indies many, many times. I'm very fortunate. Very, very fortunate that I've been there quite a few times. And I really liked it. and I've got great friends there. And in fact, my good friend, Mervyn Richards, Viv Richards' brother, was meant to be on the show many a time, and he hasn't been. Which I'm a little bit sad about, but I'm sure he'll come back before too long. He was on the program a lot. He can't do it all the time. So there's quite a bit going on there. It's a matter of getting that thoughts on. England only has 2 to 5% chance of winning. It's probably a bit low, but it's fair. So is there any chance of wicket deteriorating enough to Jadu to make an impact? It's going to have to do it pretty quickly. It doesn't look like it. Manu, John, that's India will win by 5. No. You're a cheeky bugger, aren't you, Arjun Single? You always seem to. Just editing this. Interesting, they're calling it a rare second innings marathon. Interesting stat. A rare. Look here. Record chase. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting comments being made. I'm just trying to just capture them all so we can get a bit of a handle on what's going on. It was a rare second innings run chase. It's an interesting point. That's true. They did. Hot weather could deteriorate pitch, but Jadu needs to bowl around the wicket and wider. Yep. Hot Sunday day predicted not more. It's not going to be concerning to India. I'm not from Tim's he's from Northern England. Okay. So we're going there. It's an interesting development indeed. Okay. Any update on Root's injury? Will he be rested in seconds? So he had that back of the knee, maybe upper calf area problem. Nothing had been said. He was out in the field. No, he wasn't out in the field. Today, New Zealand won against Bangladesh. If you leave out the first T20. Yeah, I would say so. New Zealand look much better. They have lost the 2 matches though against Bangladesh, but they did beat them quite comprehensively in the third. You're right. Cricket world needs support channels like you to take this game globally. Thank you. Is Northeast England saying, will India win tomorrow? Please answer. Mohammed Gul Sheikh, I would say yes. Are you satisfied with the target? I'm not looking at the pitch. Yes, I am. Tim's so Scottish. Is Shardul Thakur booked a place for T20? I would hope so. His batting was certainly good enough. Geez, he's been in fantastic form. Absolutely fantastic form. Standout by a country mile. Have to argue that.
Okay, Rory, over to you. Go ahead.
It's good to see people talking about Shardul Thakur. He's quietly been, a little champion. He has, hasn't he? So that's a rare. Okay. Let's have a look at that. Okay. Pommies are missing nowadays on live streams. Well, no, Reg Vernon was here earlier. He's in Lanzarote.
in the Canary Islands. He's on holidays. Then you've got Chris Verner's running amok while his dad's away. David Gravely was on earlier. He was meant to come on later, but he was on earlier. Adam Hollier had his 50th birthday. Monty's busy with his program. They're all there. Tim, are you? Geordie, I think. No, okay. Scotland's better than England, but they don't play cricket. They do play cricket. I wish I have all the fight tomorrow. Let's hope. Virat are the ways to get England out. What are the ways to get out? Not able to pick one wicket also. Mohammad Yadav, I'll bring you back on. Hardik and Shuttle can be good all-rounders for India. Now, Hardik's bowling is the problem. But Tim, Geordies are from Newcastle upon Tyne. Yes. Okay, fair enough. How are we going here? We would like to see your channel commentary, you in the channel commentary box. So would I, Rajasekhar Barraj. I will probably try that one day with one of the Indian programmers for sure. That's good. Very, very impressed with that. Thank you. I take that as a big compliment. Where does your son stay in the US? No, he doesn't stay in the US. We both went to the US, to New York, New Orleans, and to California 2 years ago, and those photos just happened to be there. He's not in America. He's actually here in Sydney. He lives with his girlfriend, not far in the northern part of Sydney, not far from me. Right now, what time is it in England? At the moment, they're 9 hours behind, so it's 8:35 p.m. 8:35 p.m. in England. The sun is setting. The sun is right. Your sun is setting there, Tim. The sun is rising here now. It's quite funny. Tasmania is most pictured state in Australia. Oh, Sydney's pretty damn good too. UK citizen Tim Wilton shower some super chats on Norwood from New York. Okay, very good. I'm assuming you're talking about that. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Yeah, there's Virat Kohli shouldn't be knocked for his captaincy. Let's be honest. Let's not knock Virat Kohli. So, what are your thoughts of the final day? Where the match is going on? Who is going to win? Please answer. I am watching you. Okay, Mohammed Gul's Sheikh. I would still say India in the ascendancy still. Get a few wickets tomorrow. Scoreboard pressure will be on England and they'll win. Second choice is a draw, and England a third choice, but it'll be an absolutely miraculous win if they do. In your picture today, which baseball game did you go to see? LA Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers versus the New York Yankees. Well, Hobart's not a traditional ground. It's Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. That's normally the grounds. Any update on Michael Bevan? No, not recently. His wife Tracy Bevan still runs the the McGrath Foundation. Still runs that, but he's in Sydney. He's pretty low key actually. We'd like to see a Star Sports Tamil commentary box. Great. I've got to speak Tamil to be in that box. I could live in India because I like dal, but Australia has too many spiders. Okay, Tim, that's not nice. You don't see spiders. I'm sitting here. There's no spiders around me. Silly. Thanks for your answer. My pleasure. He knows Singley's at common price. Okay, well, they can speak Singley's. After the LA Dodgers versus New York Yankees. England need to make history. Huge history if they're going to win. Mega huge history. It's a big, big, big ask. Is cricket betting legal in UK? Good question. Vivek Shah asked Tim. I think it is. Which team do you fancy? I still think India. Dinesh Kera, Team India #1 in Test. Even just go back home from the cricket. It was a great day of the cricket. You just got back home from the, okay. You went to the cricket. You had a great day. Did you? Have you been to Pune? No, I haven't been to Pune yet, Uncle Mark. Tell us about Dinesh, tell us about today, what your experience was there. How is it you're supposed to win nothing but for fast? If Ashwin was there, he would have taken 2 left hands by perhaps. Nazareth really wants to draw. Okay. Tim, cricket betting is legal here. Sports betting is big industry. I thought it was. How is it you're supposed to win nothing? Uncle, I'm from Synagogue College area. Where are you from? Actually, oh, really? Okay, that was great. I think sledging also will play a role tomorrow, as not getting wickets in tomorrow weather. We will see batting friendly fans. Okay, there hasn't been point punt sledging in this. He's been rather quiet. You're right. He has been rather quiet. Okay, now we're cooking. All right. Chris Wokes looks very happy in the video. I don't know why. Are there factors happening within the team, and if so, how do they all work as one unit tomorrow? The Ashwin situation with Kohli, it can't be perfect. Could you say it was a stupid decision to not play Ashwin? It's becoming so. Could you say? I'd say it's becoming so. Thank you, Uncle Neil. I appreciate that. We've had pretty big numbers, 15,000 in the pre-show. Was it today? Was it the pre-show? Yeah, the preview of today's show, we had 15,000 guys. 15,703 in the pre-show today. 15,703. Pretty massive. And on this show, we'll go about 1,000. It's a lot quieter, but that's understandable. All right. What was Ashwin doing in the stands? He was just relaxing and probably getting very frustrated. Yeah, it doesn't look good, guys. It does not look good. No one can convince me it's perfect in that dressing room. Wants to draw like anything. That's the saying he does. SO stay near City Pride, Satara Road. Where's that? Oh, that's in Pune, is it? Okay. Pretty sure I had to watching one time. And more than that, actually. It had quite a few more than that, actually. Well, this show's got over 1,000 so far. The peak audience for the pre-show was 817 messages, and the peak was 247 actually. Was there a technical glitch yesterday? Yeah, there was. It created 2, yeah. But I still have 10,000 looking at it. Big hit, Norman. Norman, who do you think is going to be key bowler for India tomorrow? Which one? Umesh Yadav. I still think Umesh Yadav. Shane Warner's a great man. When you call his name out, he waves back. Most players don't say nothing. Was disappointed by the Indian players, but not waving back. Oh wow. You stay very close then. You're talking between people, aren't you? This is fair. Not number 2 all-rounder, number 2 bowler is not playing. I think it's good for England. Yeah, it is good for England. All right. Can I stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the same time? I can. It's just I'm not very good at it. Should Rohit Sharma bowl in a sort of Joe Root role to exploit the Ross? If Rohit Sharma's fit, yes. That's the point. Is he fit? We don't know. Something not right with Rohit, that's for sure. All right, guys, we might. So anyone on the show should be liking, and sharing the post, and actually sharing the posts with everyone, and also be subscribing, going to my Instagram and my Twitter handle, and also hitting the notification button, and therefore sharing it through the WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, through the email groups, or through just word of mouth. Aksha, yeah, no, what's up? Nothing. Should soon this channel will reach 2 lakhs subscribers and already a big hit over. Thank you. Your family members interested in cricket? What about your son? He's not that big on cricket. He is a member of the SCG Trust. With all due respect, do you have a wife? I'm divorced. Your percentage of winning for both teams. I think the rates were, I think it was around 35 India, 35 or thereabouts a draw, about 30. It's more than that. It's probably about 45 India, 35 a draw, and 20 for England. Make a long about your setup. Okay, well, what about you, Jarbo? I forget Jarbo. Did you ever visit India? Vivek Shah, about 20 times. Tomorrow won't be a draw, it'll be a tie. Well, that's a bit of a statement. How can it be a tie? That means it'll be exactly the same score. That's going to be a miracle, Tim. It'll break all sorts of records. 2 lakh is 200,000. Okay. Today was Teachers' Day. I saw that. Yesterday was Teachers' Day, correct. It's also was Father's Day as well. It was also Father's Day yesterday as well. So it was both that and that. Greg Shaw said Deepak Chase is not fit for cricket because of his height. What do you say, Norman? He was wrong here also. I don't think height's got anything to do with the ability to play cricket. So you stay single, you have a girlfriend. Manu John, still asking you these personal questions like that, would you? Okay. Ooh, that was sore up there. It'll be their 3rd ever tie in Test cricket. There was one, of course, at the Gabba, and there was one other one, I can't remember the location, but yeah. What is your say on Ajinkya Rahane? In Australia, everyone was like to give him a captaincy now to find a replacement for him. I think 10 minutes should be leaving him and give him confidence. I believe so too. I don't think he's over just yet. I don't think he's just over yet. I think that's a bit premature. So how are we going with that? Okay, so all right. And one more thing for there. This damn iPad always just falls on me. Who is that making noise? It's a long story. Norman, just ignore silly questions. Okay. What books do you like now? Your favorite books of all time? Oh, many books. Gone with the Wind. It's also a good movie. Just said that it's really Deepak Chahar, just because of his height, is not fit for cricket. I can't imagine Greg Chappell saying that, to be honest. Your favourite cricket commentator? Jimmy Maxwell for radio, 48 plus years, brilliant commentator. Richie Benaud in his day, a guy called Norman May, who you wouldn't know. Tony Gregg and that Bill Laurie, they were great together with Richie Benaud. Max Walker I used to like as well. How you meet your financial expenses? Oh, that's none of your business. But I've been retired now. I've worked very hard for many years, and I still earn money from bits and pieces. Beyond a Boundary by C.L. James, an excellent cricket book. Yes, I know the book you're talking about, Tim. Beyond Amazon Australia isn't a good store, right? Why isn't it a good store? Your Danny Morrison's your favourite. He's funny. He's very funny. Okay. How about Hayden for Australian cricket coach? I don't think he wants to be. I think he's not interested. Jadeja again forced to play the hard first session. He couldn't make 100 if he batted in the second session. Well, he got out, didn't he? How long should we wait for Virat Kohli to win first century? It's kind of frustrating. It'll happen, and then there'll be a whole lot more. What will be the mindset tomorrow? wicket taking, control from one end of wicket taking. Why is this pitch so good on day 5? Just seems to have not been exposed to the conditions. The sun has dried it out and made it crackled and to break up because the sun hasn't hit it. Do you buy at least some of your stuff from Amazon Australia? Not really. I don't do much Amazon shopping at all. Why people are getting too personal? Because they're getting bored, Uncle Nike. I think that's what the story is. Probably getting bored. All right, guys. It's almost 10 to 6. I'm probably going to be going. Jadeja without Ashwin is less suffocating. True. They're a good tandem combination. It's true. But India have made a strong decision to try and change the dynamics. And I think they're warranted because they can't rely on Ashwin all the time because eventually he won't be there. And they'll need to get some sort of balance going on. Thank you. Is Pat Cummins available for IPL? I don't believe he's playing. We're here to talk on cricket. Indians will cry tomorrow. Let's not hope. Okay, the white cloud cover has protected this pitch. The heat tomorrow could cause it to deteriorate, but far too late, Tim. Correct? Far too late for them to do that. Its time is limited, you would argue. Okay. Is there any chance of rain? No. I love Michael Phelps. What, the swimmer? American swimmer won many gold medals. Okay. If Rahane and Kohli played well, then India could have saved a bit of time. Yeah, but Rahane didn't play well, yes, but Kohli did. What are you talking about? Of course Kohli did. Don't underplay Kohli. Okay. Feel sorry for Afghanistan. I do, especially the women's cricket. They're the ones that are going to really suffer. They're going to be banned altogether, and that's not good. First innings led, just add the score, and that's the perfect fourth innings score, 453 on the bizarre road. Okay. All Indians hoping for an overcast weather for one session at least tonight. It could, I don't think so. Bring some former English cricketers after the series. I will. What is the price of the cheapest hotel room in London? I don't know. Ask Tim that, but I'd say you can get one for £50 if you're a backpacker or something, or less. All right. Kohli's 40 was a rough play. He wasn't focused enough. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I wonder who was India's vice captain for Rahane is rested. Robert Sharma, even Pujara. They're already in that mix. All right, guys, I've got another 8 minutes to go and I'm finishing the show, okay? So 8 minutes. Was there any chance of being close, chased by England team tomorrow? I don't think so. Smith ruled out of the T20 World Cup. Why has he been ruled out of the T20 World Cup? Interesting. This match is still far away from England reach. India just need 2 wickets in the first outing. Yeah, I agree. Can you get cheap hotels and get the underground tube into the city centre? Okay. Donny, upcoming faster bowler in the world. Your take on him. Shanawaz Dhoni. I don't know him. Is he what? I don't know him. I haven't heard of him. I know who Dhoni is, of course. Man, I don't understand how is the world community supposed to believe this terrorist organisation to run a country and go do good things. Yeah, it's a crazy one. Well, the 5th batch take place during the COVID. Harsh Gupta, at this stage, it's yes, but we don't know. But at this stage, it's yes. Richard Tim Wilson, is he rich? Is he? Well, let's hear from Tim. Who do you think currently on top 4 test fast bowlers in the world? Pat Cummins is up there. Rabada's still up there. Anderson has to be up there still. Bumrah. Okay, fastball. I don't know. Speed. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. Okay. Do you think if Dean Jones would have been a better coach in Australia? He wasn't really into coaching as much. He was a good commentator, though. Pakistan fastballer who did well in the last PSL. Okay, I don't know much about him. I have to find out more about him. Okay, guys, 5 minutes and I'm going. Okay, 5 minutes, I'm going. So if you're there, view, like, and share the posts. Subscribe to Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. And hit the notification button. Hit at Norm Koch, which is the Twitter and the Instagram, as well as my LinkedIn page and my Facebook page, Norman Kochnick. Shaheen Afridi looks good. Wow, that's fast. Why don't we have as much as express fast bowling? We still do. They're still there. Shaheen Afridi can be a big threat in world cricket. He's doing very well. He's a very good young player. Harris Ralph is another one I like a lot. I know Harris Ralph personally. He played in Sydney with Usman Qadir, Abdul Qadir's son. All right, guys, I think I might stop there. So we've had a great session. So thank you all for joining me for the last 2 hours and 31 minutes. So this is actually Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. There's 2 spots. Subscribe if you're not subscribing already. Notification button, hit for the bell. Twitter and Instagram at Norm Koch. LinkedIn and Facebook, my full name, Norman Kochnick. Good night, Tim. Thanks for the stream. Any chance that we can get the cap on Eyes on Cricket, you can. Message me on my Instagram. Pakistan going to beat India in October. Well, sorry, that's interesting. Because, guys, like Varun, okay, great day, sir. All right, guys, take care. I want you to all to be there for me in the future. Goodbye, guys. Take care, all of you. And if you're there, please view, like, and share.